Good morning. Today we are going to talk about finding surface area of prisms. You should have your math journal out so that you can take notes so that you will be able to complete your assignment today. So when we talk about prisms, we talk about a rectangular prism. And we know it's a rectangular prism because we can see the base is the shape of a rectangle, and a triangular prism. A triangular prism, of course, the base is shaped like a triangle. A prism is a 3D shape, and we use their nets in order to find the surface area. Okay. So a net is a two-dimensional representation. Let me fix that so you guys can read it. Of a three-dimensional figure. So it takes it from being 3D to being flat. When a net is folded, it creates a 3D figure. Okay. Surface area the surface area is the outside covering of a 3D figure. It can be found by calculating the composite area of the net. Again, last week we talked about composite areas. Okay. So let's look at this shape. Here I have a rectangular prism, and I know that because I can see the shape of this, the shape of the base is a rectangle. What I want to do is I want to look at this side, these two sides of the rectangular prism. We know those are kind of the short sides, right? We can see that they're opposite of each other. And the one thing we know about opposite sides of rectangles are that they're even. So if they're opposite sides of a rectangular prism, they're also going to be even. They're going to be the same. So these, if I take this shape and unfold it, that's what these two pieces are. These two on the sides, those are the corresponding areas. Okay. If I look at this part of the rectangular prism, they're opposite sides. So these two sides are going to be equal. So in this case, you're looking at this shape, this rectangle, and this rectangle. When this net is folded up, these are the two sides that would be opposite of each other. Okay. So the top and the bottom would be these two. Since they're across from each other, again, they are equal. Their surface areas, their composite areas, would be the same. Okay. And finally, if we look at this back rectangle, this one's going to be hard to see, and this front rectangle, now we're talking about this shape, this rectangle, and this rectangle. So these are congruent, they're equal. Okay. So another way to look at this is that this is shape number 1. This is shape number 2. And these are shape number 3. The 1s match, the 2s are equal, and the 3s are equal. Okay. Now this only works in a rectangular prism. Okay. So let's look at an example. It says use the net for the cube to find its surface area. So before we can start finding the area of this, we have all these sides that don't have numbers, right? So we have to figure out what these are. Well, the one thing I know is opposite sides of rectangles are equal. So if this side is 3, that means this side is 3. And it means that this side is 3. And this side is 3. And this side is 3 centimeters. Okay, now the next thing that I know is that if this is 3 centimeters, then the opposite side is 3 centimeters. All right? Now this does say it's a cube, so what that means is that every single side is going to be 3, right? If it's a cube is a 3D square, and we know that all sides of squares are equal. So we can also say that this one is 3, this is 3, this is 3, this is 3. All my sides are going to be 3 centimeters. Now, do I need to know every single side? No, not really. But I do know that opposite sides are going to be equal. Okay. So now that I know that all of these are 3, I am going to let's find our areas. Okay. So I'm gonna number these shapes. I'm gonna number this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, I know all of them are 3. My base is going to be 3. My height is going to be 3. If I'm dealing with a cube or a rectangle or a square, my formula is going to be A equals B times H, base times height. Okay, so for the first one, for shape number 1, right? I already said that I know that this is going to be 3 and this is going to be 3. So my base is 3 times my height of 3. Well, 3 times 3 equals 9. Okay. Shape number 2. Again, I know that it's 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 equals 9. Shape number 3 is going to be 3 times 3. That is also 9. Shape number 4. 3 times 3, which equals 9. Shape number 5. Oops. I want to keep the same color. It's going to be 3 times 3. That equals 9. And then finally, shape 6. That also is going to be 3 times 3, which is 9. Now, after I get all of those areas, I have to add these numbers. When I add those up, I get an answer of 54 centimeters squared. So it's just like composite shapes, composite figures that we were doing last week, where we have to find the area of each shape and then add it together at the end. Let's look at one more. Okay. So this one is not a cube. So we do have to figure out what all of our measurements are. Okay. So again, what we know about rectangles are opposite sides are equal. So if this one is 6, that means this is 6. That means this side is 6. This side is 6. And this side is 6. Now, remember I said this one and this side, these are equal. These are the same. So if I have 5 and 4 over here, that's going to be the same over here. 4 and 5. Now again, I know that opposite sides are equal. So since this is 5, that means this is going to be 5. Now I also know that this shape and this shape are going to be equal, and that this shape and this shape will be equal. Maybe I should just put a dot and not number it. Let me go back and fix that. I don't want it to get confusing. Okay. So I know that the blue dots, those shapes are going to be the same size. The yellow dots are going to be the same, and the pink dots. So in total, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes. So I still need to have 6 numbers over here on the side, because there are going to be 6 things that I have to add up together at the end. Okay, so let's start with these shapes right here, the blue shapes. I have a base of 4 and a height of 5. It's a rectangle, so I know that my formula is area equals base times height. Okay, so my base of 4 times my height, 4 times 5 equals 20. Now remember, my blue, those are the same. So if 5 times 4 is here, I'm going to do that again for my second shape. Now, I have already found this shape. I have already found this shape. Okay, so now let's go to the yellow shapes now. Well, I have a 6. Oh, well, look at here. I have a base of 6 and a height of 4. So 6 times 4. 6 times 4 equals 24. But remember, I know my yellow shapes are equal. They're the same. So I have to do 6 times 4 again. So 6 times 4 equals 24. Now, I've done these yellow shapes. So the only shapes I have left are those pink shapes. So I can see here I have a base of 6 and a height of 5. So 6 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. And I know that I have 2 of those. Again, 6 times 5 is 30. Once I have all of those, I'm going to add them together. 20 plus 20 plus 24 plus 24 plus 30 plus 30 is 148 inches squared. Okay. Now you have some problems to work out. You can look back at this video as many times as you need to, but you are expected to get the worksheet completed. If you have questions, please ask the sub. And again, you can refer back to this video as many times as you need to. I'll see you guys tomorrow.